OGRV Champ P. This document is another document, as others, when something's constantly going over and over in my mind. Well, it's time to pick up the recorder. It's time to record. So here we are. And today's subject to share with myself and the world and all in between is balance is everything. So to make a super long story short, when you're a teenager, this is something you've heard of. A kid, a preteen, a teenager. A kid, a preteen, a teenager, your late teens, from age 5 to 21, you might hear the word balance and it doesn't even cross your mind. But when you hit 20s, it's something you consider from age 21 to 31. And when I'm speaking, I'm thinking of averages. How many people would agree with what I'm saying? Probably 6 or 7 people would agree out of 10. So I always speak in estimations and percentages because nothing, is guaranteed. So I'm thinking what most people would agree with. That's just how I was programmed to speak on serious subjects. And this really isn't a serious subject unless you look at it as a serious subject. Anyway, moving on. Between 31 and 41, you are no longer considering balance. You are practicing it at least 35% or more out of 100%. As I said, I speak in estimations, averages, and percentages because nothing is for certain in life. So moving up, when you're 40, you're definitely keeping it more in practice. 37, 38, deeply, considering it, practicing it. But 40, it's a must. So to make a long story short, reason it's a must because whether someone realizes it or not, each and every person in life, at least a big percentage of the people in life, are balancing 4 things, and it doesn't really hit your subconscious or your conscious mind. I'll say your conscious mind until you hit your 40s. And this is for male and female and all in between. Male and female and all in between. Yeah, it doesn't really register. It doesn't really set in. And it keeps going through my head. When I was working on a trash truck, I worked with a guy. I work with older guys sometimes that had, 5, 6 years experience in the field of garbage, waste management, Republic, and some, just started. This is back in 2002 when we were making big money, waste management, Republic, blah, 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 blah. Different companies, but I started off with waste management, and that was my lessons in life. And I had a big fat paychecks every week, and every time I went to a gas station, I always had to break $100 bill or a $50 bill, blah 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 blah. So to make a long story short, I never forget the guy's name. His name was Byron. He fought in Nam. He'd been to prison, and he'd been married several times, and blah blah blah. He was in his 50s, but he kept up with everybody. I was in my 20s. So he said, you got to pace yourself with this job. You got to pace yourself. So as years goes on, especially in your 40s, you're thinking, no, you don't just have to pace yourself at your job, whether you're working an 18-hour shift as we did, between 15 to 18-hour shifts, depending on the days. You have to pace yourself in life because we as human beings, we are trying to wrap this up. It says 3:36, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. I'm in. Okay, I'm trying to wrap this up. In life, we are balancing 4 things. The first thing you're balancing is religion. Without religion, let's face it, you won't exist. You'll do something reckless and wind up messing your life up. So you got to have some type of religion, godly religion. Number 2, you have to take care of yourself. You have to eat. You have to sleep. Okay, you have to take care of your health. So then you have yourself. That's number 2. You're balancing that. Keep in mind, balance doesn't always stay the same. It shifts, rotates, etc. Okay, so yourself also includes your household if you're living with someone or dating in or out of the household, because you and your family, you're the same person. You're on the same wavelength, same train of thought. Okay, when you're dating, you are one. Then you have your family, that's bloodline, friends, associates, neighbors, all in between. Okay, that's number 3. Some are, we'll just say, spread it out in the city. or farther. And then you have your community. So whether you want to say your community first or family second, either way it goes, it's two separate things. But at the same time, it's the same thing. It's kind of tricky, but we'll just say it's two separate things. So that's four things you're balancing. So because of that, you have to pace yourself in life. You must pace yourself. It's not a choice. It's not an option anymore. When you hit your late 30s and 40s, it's finally set in. The gravy has finally set in, the wheat or white bread. Reality is, balance is not a choice. And it's just like skateboarding. That's why I love skateboarding, because skateboarding teaches me and reminds me new and old lessons of my life. Champ, I'm out. Thank you for your time. Today's date is 7/21/2023, July 21st, 2023. Time 1:40 p.m. Thank you for your time, Champ. I'm out. Legacy. Champ P. This document as another document, as others, when something's constantly going over and over in my mind, well, it's time